YouTubers, Electric Adventures here with another package in the mail. This is a companion item to something I got recently that I finally managed to haggle the particular place down on. It's got lots of Japanese air. Now there's two lots of items in here. One's the special item and the others are some Gameboy games that I got pretty cheap, like for a couple of dollars. So those come along for the ride, but there's nothing wrong with those as titles either, so it's packaged very well. As normal is good from these guys. Okay, so we've got our next layer of packing now. Get the box out of the way. That's why now the item isn't in, perfect condition, but it's in pretty damn good condition for actually getting a copy of it. So, oops, and I just dropped the Gameboy games all over the place. It is packaged up very well though. Okay. Excuse me while I retrieve the Gameboy games. Now, we'll do those first. Try and do them in order. So, they are, and I said I don't have copies of these, so it's one of those sets of 4 that get auctioned off, and I got the whole thing for I think it was $1.50. And the first one is Nemesis, or Gradius, the first game in the series. And it is a little dirty and yellow. I'll of course have to clean it. And then we have Nemesis 2. It'd be really cool to see how these games are on the Game Boy and on the Super Game Boy player. Also, and I don't have a copy of this either, Tetris. Of course Tetris came with Game Boys in the West. I'm not sure what came with Game Boys in... Sorry for the cut there. My fax machine rang and I've got it turned off because we've got any junk faxes. And now another game which I think is called Quaff, and is actually another shoot 'em up by the looks of it. So we've got a mystery game to play, but it's also by Konami. Looks like you can use Link Up as well. So I'm really actually very interested to see what I've managed to get there. And now of course the main event item, and now takes probably precedence for the rarest game in my MSX collection, is the second game in the LS series, LS 2, and it says it for MSX2 and MSX2 Plus. So it might, I've never played this, so it might take advantage, just like Space Mambo does, of MSX2 Plus features. So we'll have to try it in both. There's the back. So it's a bit bright in here today, but it's focusing reasonably well. A lot of Japanese script with the screenshots. Look, very nice. And the cover's not in too bad condition. There's a little bit of wear at the top where the cover's moved up. I should actually be able to move that down with a bit of adjustment. Now it's in one of these nice high quality clamshells. So we have the user manual, which is just in grayscale black and white. So information about ships and enemies. Obviously those screenshots don't come out very well in black and white. And looks like there's a model as well that you could probably get, I reckon. Maybe it came with it originally. Now we've got another manual here, which is in the normal back to front style, which has information about the characters and stuff, and maybe a technology tree there. There's some more pictures and a bit of a story. And this time it's not a cartridge, it is actually discs. So disc 1 is demo, 2 is game A, and 3 is game B. So obviously quite a big game if it's a disc game. And you know, the interior of the package is pretty good. There's a little crack in the spine there, but extremely happy to get the second one of these. It's not an easy series to collect, but these on the MSX are probably the hardest ones in the entire series to get, so I've knocked those off. I mean, there are earlier games though that Compile made. Don't know when I'll get a chance to find copies of those. But anyway, alright, we'll go on. We'll try out those Gameboy games after a thorough clean, and we'll finish off with a nice decent gameplay of LS2. Taking into account that I've never played it before, so I'm bound to be terrible at it. But anyway, let's go and have a look. And the mystery cart is called Quota. Just the title cycles around, and it's a bit of a mix-up between a shoot-up and a puzzle game. I have had a quick look at it so I could work out what in the world you're supposed to do. So you can play single player or in a match. You can start at a different level, and you can start on a random stage or the first stage, and also pick your ship. I picked that first one last time, I'll just pick this one just for variety. So I'm the guy down the bottom, and you can see a target up the top there. Now you've got to wait for the maze to start coming down. And what you've got to try and do is build square shapes. Right, now I've completed a square shape, and I'll get a bunch. The bigger you do them, the more points you get. And then you get special passes over there, which I think you can use to pause the scrolling maze. Oh, it's got some groovy music going on. Let's do a larger one here. Yeah, so I haven't figured out what size gives you one of those special pieces and what doesn't. That'll give me a really big shape. Yeah, okay, so we've got to get a certain amount of points to qualify. So pressing your second button seems to use those things over on the right hand side there. Let's see how big a shape we can do and get that qualify right down. And so it seems to be moving fairly slowly to start with, just giving us a bit of time. I suppose you've got to be careful what you do, otherwise we could get caught. Good one. got a second one of those. I'll get the number down. It does take a fair bit of doing to finish a level by the looks of it. Oops. Uh-oh. Use one of those things to freeze time. And that's game over. Yes, I haven't finished the level yet, but that's actually quite a different, variation on a puzzle game. Alright, let's try the next game. Here we go with the first of the Nemesis games. This was the dirtiest cartridge and the hardest one to get started, and it's still a little temperamental. But the familiar start, you can actually start on a stage and a level, set the number of lives, which is pretty good, and shots A, power-ups B, so you can change the controls. So I've grabbed a power-up and on the spin up. Oops. Oh. Yep, it's not a demonstration, is it? Right, so get the missile next. Now the laser. Now we're starting to get some. Oh, that's close. Be careful. Let's see if we can get out. Yeah, second us. Larger building there we got rid of. So, it's got quite a few of the elements of the original game. Well, you build, you're building up weapons. Okay, that clears the whole screen of enemies. Interesting to see how, and it's got the music from the original, so it's not a bad little, portable version of Nemesis. I'm not going to get to see the, and now, as usual with Nemesis games, messed up, so I've lost all my power-ups, and it's going to be very difficult to get it all back again. Only other thing I say, because of obviously the black and white nature, you can't tell what enemy is going to give you what power-up. Alright, let's try the second one. Here we go with Nemesis 2. So Nemesis 1 was pretty good conversion. So we'll go for the full game. Now, like the other Nemesis 2, you can choose your style. We'll just go with normal. And this one actually has a bit of an intro, which is interesting. So I can't do anything at the moment. We're just going to wait for it to go through. So we're travelling through space and our fleet gets attacked. And you got in our fighter, and we're in control at the moment. We have to dodge the asteroids. And we're being chased by the... Oops. And we're being chased by the Nemesis ship. Trying to get some fuel there. We do have, as you can see, rapid fire. Then we go into a cave. Luckily the falling debris doesn't hurt us. Right, and then the game starts. And interesting enough, it scrolls vertically as well as horizontally. Right, no slight pause in the gameplay there. The dog's barking on me. Now this is quite interesting because we've got this caterpillar type enemy. So we've got the laser. Oops, that's close. Oh dear. Now I've been knocked back down the size of it. I messed up. Oh, so I can show you a bit more of that one. Oh, continue start button. Well, we'll do a little bit longer. So it's quite. This has got a lot of interesting variations from the original radio series. So. Until I found these, I didn't realise that there were Grady's, Nemesis games for Game Boy. Okay, it's time to put our weapons up again. It's hard when those enemies come from behind you. Quite cramped. There we go, we've got our first shadow weapon. That makes it a bit easier because we've got double the firepower. Because of the cramped playfield, you don't have a lot of time to respond. Extra missiles and I'll die. Alright, I'll leave it at that because it'll eat up too much video. But, it's an excellent little game. It's just surprising at how well these Game Boy games play. Alright, let's try the next game. So here we have Tetris, so 1987 and 1989. This is the game that came with Western Game Boys. I'm not necessarily particularly good at it. This is something you've probably all seen lots of times. I'll try and get rid of one line. Which looks like it's not going to happen for a little while. Always get off to a bad start. There you go, got rid of a couple of lines. So, this is it, it's Tetris. Everybody should really know Tetris by now. And quite good. So, for what was it, $1.50? I think I did very well. Alright, so we can spend as much time as possible on the MSX game. We'll leave this because once I start playing this I can't stop. Yeah, we'll go give Aleste 2 on the MSX a go. Right, with that we go with Aleste 2 for the MSX2. Now, so I'm playing it on MSX2, not on MSX2 Plus at the moment. Just for this initial play. I might do a follow-up video later with it on the MSX2 Plus to see if there's any difference. So this is the intro demo. Have a look at a little bit of this because it's a pretty rare game, and once again there won't necessarily be a lot of footage around. So I think you can boot straight from the Game A disc, but so there's a bit of talking between admirals there, or pilots, I suppose. If I press a button, it goes straight to the title screen, and we miss out on all of this intro. So some sort of emergency happening. Now there's a slight little, obviously there's a disc game, so a little bit of loading time. There we go, something appears out of warp. Looks pretty nasty. Now I will say I fired this up to make sure the discs are working and had a quick game, and I was absolutely terrible at it. It is a lot faster than the original one, which I've been playing a lot. And yeah, alright, well, this is getting a bit long, we better go and skip out of here, or it's going to make the video too long. Just had some capture issues in the middle. It might have actually jumped to the higher frequency that, because I'm using this DVR, it doesn't like, but all I've done is booted from the game disc now. And let's see how we go. So you can select your weapon. I don't know enough about all of these yet. So they're the different weapons, so you can actually start with one. Alright, we'll be brave and just start with super rapid. Oh, bit of speech. Now I said, I've had one go of this and I was absolutely dreadful because it is very fast. Now, with the list, you need to keep on grabbing the power-ups. Grabbing the numbers gives you a secondary weapon. That's not too bad. You've lots of your ground targets you need to watch out for. Only like 5. Missed out on that one. Six, no, don't like that. We'll go back to that. So we managed to get double firing there, and in difference to the original one, so LS1, seems to be a lot less flickering, a lot more ground targets too. So I believe we just got an extra life then, which, considering how I play this game, it's probably not a bad idea. Now your armament up the top runs out, so it's counting down at the moment. I'm not sure yet where we're collecting the P power-ups keeps them going for a bit longer. I really want to weapon 0, I actually quite like this weapon, except I died. So you come straight back into the action, which can be bad. Okay, now we've got a homing. That's 2, no, 3. Okay, 3 is a laser weapon. Oh, we got rid of 1, almost died. Okay, killed one side. So nice, it feeds you some power-ups while you're fighting this guy. Now the centre. I mean, it is nice and colourful game. I am doing much better than I did in my initial game. It must have been shock There we go, I've got a bit of flicker there. They're using a few sprites to do that effect. Whew! I actually managed to finish the level. How about that? But this is, you know, scrolling really smoothly, and they've really worked on keeping the flicker down. Ooh, okay, so that exploded everything on the screen. And that's given us a secondary protection weapon. Okay, I didn't know about that one. I actually missed one of those early on, didn't I? No, I'm actually quite happy with this weapon, so... I know my weapon will run out eventually. And by the way, I'm using that arcade stick as well, which makes so much difference with playing games like this. Okay, scrolling slow down for a minute. I'm coming up to something. This is quite an enjoyable shoot 'em up. As I said, we've actually got 2 discs as well, so I take it some of the levels are on extra discs. So of course the discs allows a lot more storage. Right, my armor was almost running out anyway, so not really the best weapon, but we do have that rotating thing. We have managed to power our front shot up to be a triple now. Back to a 0. That was 5. Okay. Yeah, don't really like that one. Ooh, we can get 2 of those, okay. It is really nice when you can power yourself up a lot on these games. Although usually, you know, when you finally die, it can be very catastrophic. Okay, I seem to be doing quite well. Into a bit of a rhythm, and the music's quietening down, so we could be coming to a boss. Ooh. Okay, it's going to appear somewhere else, is it? Yeah. It's got smaller now. I think as I managed to stay powered up, I actually completed 2 levels, so... Well, that's it, rare game, I'm still going. So we fly off. I mean, I really love the level of effects and everything like that in this game. This is definitely a very good game in the LS series, and the best one on the MSX. Okay. So, I mean, I will have to cut this video off at some stage, but I'll wait till I die for the first time, eh? That was 6. That's the one I've got. Oh, 5 is horrible. Boomerang thing. That's 3 we wanted. There we go, that's the laser. And as I said, it's put in a different tune for the different levels, so... I mean, the backgrounds are very detailed. Sorry about that, got interrupted by the wife wanting me to fix up her iPad. Anyway, LS2 for MSX2 2 Plus is fantastic, especially now I've got past the first few seconds of gameplay, and I probably could have gone on for quite a while there unless I was interrupted, but great fun game, really good. Later on down the track I'll have to do a compile collection overview, because I've got a few games for it now, and we'll have to see how we go on getting some more down the track. But excellent pickups this time. Hope you've enjoyed the video. Thanks to all my subscribers, and I'll catch you all next time.